Welcome to another What's Sold on eBay video. It is Brendan here, Dad Planet. If this is your first time watching, it is so nice to see you for the first time. And listen, if you guys have been following me along this journey this past year, I really appreciate having you as well. The Hot 10 Bolo list for resellers. Yeah, maybe this should be a what didn't sell on eBay video because my sales were absolutely pathetic. They have completely vanished. This is covering a period of December 15th through the 21st. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas around here. I don't really have a very good explanation as to why there was such a precipitous drop in my sales relative to the first 2 weeks in December. And for those of you that don't know, I only do 4 What's Sold on eBay videos a month. However, the things that did sell this week are amazing. The Bolos are amazing. You're going to learn a lot. So I'm excited to feature them for you. But yeah, we're going to look at my traffic statistics, and it's really hard to gauge what exactly happened. It just vanished. The sales just vanished. They picked up a little bit since then, but whatever. Like, we're getting it's holidays and you know, people are out shopping in retail stores, and I could give you every excuse I think is the reason the sales were so low, but they were low, and you know, whatever. I'm on one hand, I want to say I'm super angry. I'm really not. It's just 1 week of sales. I just expected them to be a lot better than they were because of all of the things that are going on, online sales increasing, and you know, holidays and people buying that type of stuff. So at any rate, you're gonna take a look. I did under $1,900 in sales for the week of December 15th through the 21st, but the Bolos are amazing. So hey, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we're back in the Dad Planet cockpit here. Take a look at this nonsense. Less than $1,900 in sales. That is a 30% drop over the previous period, which would have been last year. My selling cost at 25%, and then my net sales at under $1,300. What on earth is going on here? I mean, there's no explanation for it, and the reason I say there's no explanation for it is because if you look at the next tab, it shows you my traffic statistics. So impressions are up, but even though my page views were down 5%, that doesn't warrant a 35% drop in units sold. So there's nothing here, there's nothing going on here that would indicate being throttled in search or anything along those lines. It really just does not make any sense. And again, it's just 1 week out of the year, but it's such a peculiar week because everybody's ramped up online. I understand that retail traffic, like in-store retail traffic, is higher a little bit during the holidays, but nothing that would warrant such a precipitous drop like I've seen. Whatever, I'm sure it will work itself out, but it just makes no sense. And when I can't put my finger on it, it really kind of annoys me, because I like to think logically and understand why things go the way they were. My listings are normal. I'm at around 1,000 listings. Everything is very consistent. The dollar amount, my asking value price for the total amount of inventory I'm carrying, nothing is different. So you know, whatever. Leave me a comment if you see something I don't. So I don't really have an explanation for it. However, the items that did sell, like I said, awesome. We'll go over them right now. So without further ado, let's get into the first Bolo here. Now, this is an AeroGarden. AeroGardens, first of all, this is just a base. So they have a top and a bottom. For those of you that are not familiar with it, this is just the base on the AeroGarden 7. The blue tape indicates that it has really almost probably never been used. I don't know how these pieces got separated, but this was at a Volunteers of America, priced at $2.92. And I believe I had seen it before, and it was priced higher. So they must have reduced the price, because when I saw it, I thought, you know what? These things get really, really dirty and can be left unkept and not cleaned properly. So there's someone on earth that is going to want a replacement base. And sure enough, there was. I had it listed at $30, but I took an offer of $26.99 with $11.88 to get it shipped, and I'm pretty sure the buyer left me positive feedback. So before tax, they're $38.87 all in. Don't be afraid to pick these up, even if you're just getting half of it, because they'll sell. And don't be afraid to pick it up even if it's pre-owned and it's the bottom half, as long as it's relatively clean. That's clearly what people are looking for. They want to replace the junk one that they have. See the cap on the plug? That's a pretty good indication that this has never been used, along with the tape. So even though I marked it pre-owned, it was brand new. So good sale there. We'll move on to the next one, which is really neat. It's like a bonsai tree, like a cherry blossom bonsai tree. It had a UPC that I was able to look up, and the comps were, they were okay. So I priced mine aggressively, and it sold for full price, $44.99, and the buyer paid $16.20 in shipping. So there's $61.19 all in. It's a beautiful piece. It had, this was also new. It had wrap around the base that I took off but put back on for shipping purposes. So never been used, never been on display. I don't know what the brand is. You have to be weary when there's no brand. Like, I thought about not listing this item, but because these are the types of items that like come from China, and there's like 8 different brands all under the same product, and then they all start fighting with each other. And then, the one company that does have the copyrights and the trademarks, like, it's a potential Vero. So I like really thought long and hard about getting this listed, took the chance, and it's sold. That doesn't mean that I'm out of the water, because even your sold listings can get Vero'd. Those of you that have been through that, you understand what I'm talking about. It didn't in this instance dissuade me from listing this one, so I still felt comfortable enough to list it. But yeah, this is one of those items that's kind of generic, and it falls under a lot of different brands, and I see that a lot. You see that a lot in Amazon return pallets. Like, there's so much junk, private label junk. It's like the same product, but there's 4 different brands that are all like selling the same thing. It's just something that I try to avoid, which is why I don't do Amazon return pallets. Those are just like Veros. You're just waiting for unnecessary Veros, in my opinion. Anyway, that was a good sale. We'll move on to the next one. These are basically a guaranteed sale, for me at least, when you get them listed and they are in good working conditions. So this is like night vision. It's called Yikes, and it worked. It was in full working order. I think I took a picture of you being able to actually see through. Here's a picture of the battery compartment. I did have to do a little bit of cleaning. You can kind of see a slight amount of corrosion, but when the corrosion is white and flaky like that and it just needs to be brushed out, you don't have an issue on your hands. So I tidied that up, and in full working order. It's a picture of my front room table with some remotes on there. So good working condition, easy sale, $30 I got, and the buyer paid $10.90 to have it shipped. I paid $3.99, so they're $40.89 all in. 2009 is the year. Jack's Pacific is the brand name. Yikes. Look that stuff up. Don't be afraid to take that home with you, because that's a pretty easy sell. So we'll move on to the next one, which is Jadeite, and this is Anchor Hocking Fire King. These are Lotus plates. They come with a Lotus cup, but these were just the plates. So I picked all 6 of them up, and they were 99 cents each. So I paid $6 for these. They were not in perfect condition. There were a couple that had condition issues. I will show you what those were. And the first one was a very, very small chip on the back of the plate, and then a real hairline fracture here on the tip of one of the Lotus plates. That was not a problem for the buyer. They still paid full price. I got $70 and $12.25 in shipping. So they're $82.24 all in before tax. Like I said, only $6. The plates are 8 inches, and I have one that I found. I went back to that same store and found a random plate. So there were actually 7 of them. So I have that one listed for $15 in my inventory right now. Jadeite, no brainer. When you see it and you become familiar with it, look it up, because that color, and usually from that time frame when Jadeite was made, always a good sell. So keep that in mind. We'll move on to the next one, which is a pretty unassuming one, if you ask me, but I got $50 for it. So anytime you see like these random one-off like hoses new in the package, like these air filters, I always look those up, because there's so many diamonds in the rough, and everybody misses them when they're in stores. Case in point right here. These are just like replacement filters for, and I don't even know what an Air 7 or an Air 8 is. I didn't really care. I just saw the comparables, took 2 pictures, got this listed, and it's sold within, 24 hours for $50. I paid $1.99 for them. So Auric Professional Air 7, Air 8, air purifier, absorbing filters. These must not be made any longer, and the item must still be in demand as an air purifier or whatever it is. So keep that in mind, but always scan those like obscure one-off, like the filters and the like I said, the hoses, anything that's like brand new in the package, I'm always pleasantly surprised. So I encourage you to do that as well. And these are items that all of your competition misses. So, so yeah, we'll move on to the next one. I'm really surprised how well Pioneer Woman sells, because you see a lot of it in Walmart. To me, that's an immediate dilution of any brand except this one. Like, this is one that, you know, like, if I had to put her in a store, it would be maybe more the Targets of the world than it would be the Walmarts of the world. But it sells incredibly well. So I always look up Pioneer Woman stuff. I even have a few of her items left in my inventory right now. This, I don't remember what the name of this. So I must have just sold similar enameled steel flower garden teapot. Pretty, and it was in very good condition. I'll show you the bottom. So hardly used, and yeah, I got $50 for it. The funny thing about this, and you guys notice this that have been following me, is I price in a lot of instances much higher than most people. So when the comparables were falling in like the $20, $30 range for this one, I was like, forget it. Condition wise, I think I can beat everybody, and I'm going to get a higher price because of that. So I priced this thing at $50, and that's what it sold for, with $12.55 in shipping. So buyer is $62.54 all in before tax. This lovely piece cost me $4.99, just sitting there on a very bare shelf at Goodwill. So I was happy to have found it. I don't think this is the first one of this model that I've sold. I think I've sold 2 of them in the last calendar year, but it's certainly not the first Pioneer Woman item I've sold. Her stuff sells incredibly well. It's just mind-boggling to me, because it's like, you know, it's like a Walmart brand at this point. So anyway, we'll move on to the next one. Asics Onitsuka, no-brainer. I picked it up sight unseen. These sold relatively quickly. I have a feeling they were probably sitting because people didn't want to bother with the laces, but these are laceless as a style. So I think I featured these in my last thrift haul video. You guys saw that. They sold within, I think, 48 hours for full price. $50 or a size 10.5. And the style number was D3K0N on those. But again, when you see Onitsuka, grab it and look it up. I pick every one of them up as long as they're like not absolutely destroyed condition wise, because it always sells for me. So $50 and then $9.90 in shipping. So the buyer is $59.89 all in before tax. The shoes cost me $4.29 if I remember. You guys can call me out on it. Go back into the video and watch. It's going to be somewhere around there. But yeah, no brainer for me. We'll move on to the next one. This is an interesting piece. So it's like a burner. Vintage Westinghouse. I'll get you a model number here as soon as I back out of the images. There was one comparable sale on these. I think that I noticed when I was doing my research for around $75, so that's what I listed it for. I don't have a model number for you, but you can't miss these when they're in the stores. They stick out because they're large and you just don't see it that often. So it almost looks like a little Art Deco-ish to me. But yeah, sold for $75 and $18.89 in shipping. So buyer is $93.88 all in. It cost me $6.99. Now, when I plugged this in at the store, it took a long time to heat up. So I was concerned. I was like, maybe this thing doesn't work. I was in this store for about an hour. So I was having a good sourcing day. So I kept it in my cart, let it cool down, and then did it again. When I plugged it in the second time, the things heated up extremely quickly. That gave me the confidence that the thing was working properly, and that when I sold it, I wouldn't be getting a, is not as described hit if somebody was struggling to get the thing to work properly. So keep that in mind. $6.99, $75, steal of a deal. I'll move on to the next one, which is a golf bag. Somebody called me out on one of my thrift run videos where I missed I think it was Titleist or Top Flight, I don't remember. Anyway, it was a golf bag and it looked like it was probably over $100. So I've been kicking myself ever since I missed that one. And I've picked up 2 bags since then, a very nice Nike one that I've got listed for over $100 in my inventory, and then this one, which sold really, really quickly. It only cost me $6.99, and I was able to sell it for full price, $79.99, with $25.80 in shipping. The bag was in excellent condition. It is a woman's bag from 2019, Top Flight, flawless condition, flawless. 6 dividers and extremely light. This bag was very, very light. It didn't weigh more. It couldn't have weighed more than 4 or 5 pounds. Very, very light, easy to carry, desirable color scheme. And so I'm happy with that because I missed the first one. And when that Nike one sells, I feel like I'm caught up. So yeah, and you know, golf bags sold in December. What can I tell you? I say this a million times. Buy good inventory. It doesn't matter when you sell it. Just get good inventory in your inventory, and it's only a matter of time. So awesome sale. And I'll move on to the last one in what was a week of ridiculously low sales, which is a cross stitch from Boost. I don't know how you pronounce this. Let me know in the comments how it's pronounced. Not that'll be that easy. But anyway, Buchilla, Plaid, Buchilla, Garden Fairy Nymph. There was a comparable when I was doing comps at the time for over $100, so I thought I saw. So I listed mine high at $150. I had somebody come in and ask me if this was the best I could do. Normally, I really don't pay much attention to people that ask those types of questions, especially if I don't have best offer put on there. In this instance, I wanted to get this thing sold. I was in the holiday giving spirit, and it sold for $105. The best part about that is it only cost me $2.99. So they're $105 and $11.75 to have that shipped doesn't seem right, but that's what it says. So we're just gonna go with that. This thing probably didn't cost me more than $4 to ship, but $116.75 they're all in before tax, and yeah, it would have been like totally anemic without that sale. So that's where we're at. There's all the Bolos for you. Okay, that's it. Hope you learned something. Hope you liked what you saw. If you are not subscribed, please make sure you are subscribed. That helps me out. Leave a like if you liked what you saw. Brendan here, Dad Planet. I sincerely hope every one of you has a wonderful holiday season. We will pick back up in the next couple of days. We're going to hit the ground running. I have a lot of interesting content coming up in the future, so I'm excited to feature that. I am out. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.